All right, welcome back to the Colony Pit, where we catch up with your favorite alumni. We're here with a dynamic duo. Definitely catch out the first conversation; it's a great one. But picking up on this the second half, let me ask you guys this question, and Steve, I'll ask you first. When you were in your senior year, did you have any idea that you knew what you're going to do the day after you graduate? Did you have like plans saying, "Hey, after graduation, I'm going to do this," or what was your thought like those last 2 years? Did you have any idea what it is you wanted to
Most,
do?
yeah, for the most part, because I was always during high school working with my father, going down there. So for pretty much, yeah. So I did 2 years at Hudson Valley, and then I transferred and graduated and up at SUNY Albany and finished there. And I did my business degree in it.
Oh, nice.
But a lot of business like that, it's good to have the education, but at the same time, most of it's hands-on and just being taught from my father how to do it, But yeah, I kind of did. Yeah, it was kind of just in my blood. I always had a drive. Like when I was going to school, I just want to go buy a car, try to sell it. It was just always that drive to do it. It was a lot of fun. Especially doing it with my father was fun. So absolutely,
Nice.
yeah, yeah,
Nice. Greg,
yeah.
what about you?
Not a clue. Not a clue. Not a clue at all. I, I've always admired my younger brother's drive. There's a lot of seriously the qualities that he has business wise that wish I do wish that I do have. My brain was always a lot in the moment and a lot seeing things of like community in the way of I just saw it in pictures. I was so taken with like movies as a kid, and I would see things that way. And I just when so in high school, we used to have the variety show and the Battle of the Bands. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I emceed those, and it was something about as we were talking earlier, being in band, this live performance, these people, everyone's here to have a good time, and then it started to like seep in. I really like this people coming together, and how can I do more of it? And I still didn't even understand that feeling, and I couldn't articulate it till after college. And I was 27 when I ventured into the entertainment industry. So I think it was along all those lines. And then that said, I am very fortunate to grow up around a successful business and the hard work that goes into it, because in the art world and the entertainment, there's a lot of, not everyone, but it's like every business, there's a lot of flakes. If I didn't have that solid grounding on watching it, learning a little bit about it, routine, the grind, the ups, the downs, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I think it's a mix of both of that, and yeah.
So, Greg, let me ask you this. A lot of your career has been based on entertainment, comedy, etc. A few years back, you made a run for mayor of Albany, which I think I sent you a message either during the campaign or after the campaign. I thought you did a phenomenal job to be an independent candidate and do it all on your own. I was so impressed with how you marketed yourself, promoted yourself. I'm sure your family was Steve included, was behind that, supporting you.
Yeah.
I think everyone gets caught up in the outcomes of those, but I thought you really represented the city of Albany, and I really liked the purpose of why you're running. And I guess the question is, do you foresee yourself at some point maybe running for some type of political office, whether it be mayor or some other political office down the road in the future?
The old saying is never say never. Never.
Right. You're going to take that as a yes.
It was a great experience. It was something that I was covering 3 years before then with, I was doing documentary of the inner city of where we've been, just stating the facts to where I felt to extend the olive branch to the city, to the community, to the people, to say, look, it's very easy to turn a page on a paper or click the channel when you see this type of stuff, but we see it firsthand, and I saw it, and I think anyone truly, Pat, would, if they were, I feel this way at least. I think if anyone was in our position or my position and this was happening in front of their livelihood. We're their trusted community members, just trying to make a living and do the best we can. I think you would have done the same thing and stood up for what you believed in. I'm a big proponent of that in any walk of life, to have courage, because for people who know me, really know me, I'm still a little shy. It's just that introverted, sometimes as a child, but I'm a huge proponent of getting out of that comfort zone and to stand up for what you believe in. And to answer your question in this way is, I stay involved because it's funny, Pat, and my brother can attest to this. 3 years after the campaign, 2 to 3 times a week, I get asked by people if I'm going to run again. Yeah, I mean, it happened. Well, I had a representative down today, a legislator down at our business to walk the streets just today, and a fellow inductee. And I like staying involved that way. And I think I'm better on the outside, for me, to try to connect people, to do things. I don't know if something came up and I'd be a good fit to help the community. Yeah, I'm just not going to go. I know every decision is not going to be easy and not everyone's going to like you, like any other business. But I do believe in community, and you never know. I guess that's the answer. If a position comes up, but I do believe in. My brother's getting antsy over here. Like, answer the damn question, you idiot. He's asking. Did he even answer?
I don't even know.
It was a good politically correct answer.
I don't know.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It's really hard to say because I feel every job has politics in it. So you're involved in some way. And but I am firm in standing up for what you believe in. And if that leads me to a position and that's where God wants me, then I'll walk through that door. So, but it was a great experience. I mean, I had to do it. I mean, it was a threat placed on every single citizen in Albany by the current administration, and the threat was death, and and people dying, and no accountability, and that doesn't work in any society to the back of history. So,
Right.
So I appreciate the comment, Pat, because I had a lot of support from family and friends, and you as well. And you did send a nice note, and your father, and you sent a great donation. I appreciate the 10 grand. That was awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, you could have made it 15 though. I mean,
I could have, but next time I'll try to get to 15. It's better how you perform.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Greg, how long were you campaigning for? Was that for a year or plus, or from like start to finish? Like you were dug in.
No, it wasn't start to finish. It was the election was November of 21. What got me involved was a comment that the administration made in August of 21, or excuse me, August of 20, when they said in print in the Hearst publication that if you're hit by a stray bullet in the city of Albany and it's not intended for you, it's intended for the person you're next to, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, unquote. And no one said anything. And that broke my heart because I haven't made it in 6 years. This is all on my dime and my family's support to bring facts to what is really like happening. I'm not trying to be an instigator. I'm like trying to extend the olive branch. And no one said anything. No one in the whole region said anything about that comment. And I was saddened by that. And I said, fuck that. That I felt awful. Like, God forbid my father, who's genuinely the nicest man I've felt to walk this planet since Christ, and my family, our customers, and the community. And I can't let that go by. It's just egregious. And that really fired me up. That brought out the Sicilian. So I got in 20, and I took about a year and a half off of my career. And then we planned it that fall with a relative and a very close friend that do this statewide and nationally. I had great advisors. I mean, it was very supportive. And then we launched in January, which is a short time, but that's really all I had because of the comment that was made and I had to get on. So, but I 17% of the votes I got, and I'm very pleased with that as an independent. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, once again, I thought you did a great job. And, 17% to some may not seem that great, but, I know 17% is a really good amount of votes from the position you started in,
Yeah.
from, considering the dynamic of being an independent. And that's what I really respected about the whole campaign is that I could follow your purpose, which sometimes in political campaigns, you're like, well, what is their purpose? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, especially with social media, and obviously we're on it too, but it's very easy to post stuff on social media and make rants and this and that. It's a whole nother thing to actually get involved and try to do something. And that's what I really respected about it, is that, anyone can post anything, but are you really going to try to make an impact? And so great job. And I respect you for that. And,
Thank you.
So that was cool. So
Thank you.
I think we just went off track, but John, next question.
No, that was no. It's great to see that, man, and good for you for standing up for what you believe in, and again too. I think Albany has 100,000 population, so you got 17,000 votes. So that's incredible, man, for starting literally just a few months and not getting entrenched. That's incredible.
Well, yeah, but then you break that down in national metrics. So 53,000 of that population is registered, and less than 14,000 voted. You see why not a lot of stuff gets ticked and moved in the country? And then, it discourages good people around our age to say, hey, look, we had a career. This is very close to my heart. Maybe I could get involved. I asked my family, my wife, is my, kids, everyone cool with this, to do it. And I think if the society would move in that direction, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is. But I think we might have a healthier society that way, because I love learning. We both do. And I think by other professionals, to add their ideas to a better community. And I think that's why Colonie is still a strong community, Yeah,
absolutely.
Let me ask, did you guys ever, I was just curious, did you guys ever think about leaving Colonie to go live someplace else? Like saying, hey, I want to get out here, go try something else. I know there's friends of ours that went out to San Diego, a bunch go to Florida, North Carolina. Did you guys ever think about doing that?
Absolutely, until I got locked into doing the family business, so you kind of get, I guess, kind of like your feet get cemented here. But I thought about it a million different times because I golf and I can't golf for 6 months of the year. It drives me crazy. So, yeah, absolutely. My girlfriend has about 6 years left to retire, 6 or 7 years, and then definitely going somewhere where I'm not, snow plowing and snow blowing and shoveling and stuff like that. So that's my idea anyway. That's what I hope to do. Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
So, yeah, I've thought about it a million times. Yeah, for sure.
Greg, what about you?
Yeah, I 100%. Like my brother said, a lot with. I was really intrigued with West Coast when I first was out there, and I just like the sense of travel. That's our grandmother's spirit, and I agree with my brother. It's tough because you got a family business, and a lot of our friends that have moved out, it's tough to understand unless you come from that, the gravity of it. If you want, and our father is very flexible. He's like, if this is not what you want, it's okay. You have my support, and that's another blessing. With my career, though, every weekend, pretty much up until COVID, was somewhere else or doing some different type of event. So it was like a vacation. So it didn't matter where I was. Because back in the good old days of entertainment, you had either to be in New York or LA. It's not like that now. Yeah. There's you could be really anywhere. And there's a lot of other places like Atlanta and New Orleans, all these places that are flourishing, Texas. And then I did, all those years, my second home was New York City. So I always had keys to apartments on the Upper East Side. And that was through September of 2017. And then we did a show on Amazon Prime, and we were filming the second season up in the capital region. And then of course, COVID. So it's been a weird time, I'd say, for everybody, right?
Right.
So yeah, maybe go out to Arizona, visit John. What's great. Or Buffalo. Let's go. I like Buffalo. I had fun out in Buffalo. I've been there a handful of times.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: growing up as the two youngest of 8 kids, and I know your mom passed away when you guys were pretty young, I believe. Talk to us a little bit about you've talked a ton about family, and that's obvious that family is very important to you, but talk a little bit about, the role your older, all your siblings, because they're all older, how they kind of helped, I guess you probably all helped each other, but the role of your siblings and kind of bringing you up.
Yeah, they were really important to us. They really took over a motherly role really quickly, and they were juniors and seniors in high school. So talking about going back to our junior and senior high school. So talk about maybe getting held back, having some fun. I'm sure they still did, but preparing meals, and they're the ones that took us to concerts, go karts, things of that nature. And sometimes I think, and I'm like, oh my God, how did you even do it? But it was just what they knew had to be done. So it's pretty amazing when you look back at it. It's just
what's the
pretty wild.
What's the age range, Steve, between you being the youngest and whoever is the oldest? What's the range there?
It's 11 years in between us.
Okay.
Yeah. My oldest sister just turned 60.
Okay.
So, and I'll be 49 later in the year. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So, and that's a big difference too. I mean, they grew up in the 70s. We grew up in the 80s. So things are different in the 70s and 80s too. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
A lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, kudos to all of them and your dad too. That takes a lot of work.
That is huge. We had to be organized, like chores every day, just dig in deep. And what happens is that, if you talk to, usually the case, and I've done this in past with talking to younger, or people who've had a parent die young, you'll tend to hear this sentiment that you grow up really fast. There's a real you're just into it. I mean, that's the most adult thing, pretty much, right? Of sort, right? It's a big one. So you're like, what the hell was that? And our dad was good, and our brothers and sisters. I mean, just to pull together, move forward the best you can, and perfectly imperfect.
Right.
Yeah, So
I think that's we're all striving for that, right? In some form or the other.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, and with Quail, you guys just said it's 81 years in existence.
Yeah.
And who started that off? Was that your grandfather that started the business?
That's correct. Yep, 1943. Yep, John Aidala Sr. Yeah, it's pretty well. It's tough though. Excuse me. The internet has changed everything in the automobile business. You sell cars to people all over the place, so it's incredible. I mean, I sold a car to people in Hawaii, Vermont, Florida, Texas, all over the country. They trust you though. They see you're not a fly-by-night business. They see the trust. Of course, websites and videos and things of that nature really make people feel comfortable. So yeah, 81 years.
Wow, that's incredible. I was going to say, do you remember the first car you sold in that family?
I do. I'll tell you why. Because my dad throws me out there. He goes, "You go talk to him." And I probably tried 3 or 4 times. And the people came back. They're looking at the car, and they sit and they're like, "We want it." I start screaming. I'm like, "What? I got to do the butt. What? Calm down. I'm like, people are like, "What the heck?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is my first car I'm selling." Yeah, I'm like, "Holy crap," But that goes back to what this career has done for me. Being in high school and not being very outgoing, but when you start talking to people and getting to know them, and there's a lot. It's small, but family. Of course, my dad knew a lot of people. It really gets you more outgoing and feeling more confident about yourself. Believe it or not, So that was a big change doing that, because I wasn't one that liked doing a lot of the talking or getting to know people like that. So it's changed a lot. Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Wow. I don't remember what the car was, but I remember what I did after when I did sell it. It's crazy. Yeah.
Nice. And like I say, Greg, with you, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a stand-up comedian. Do you remember the first time you went on stage to perform?
Yeah, like truthfully, I got one of the most unique stories. Like even coast to coast people are like, it's a crazy story. So, working for college, or after college, for our one brother-in-law's business, and so this was June of 2001. And my friend actually started this paper. It's actually the paper where Jimmy Fallon worked when he was at St. Rose, called the Metroland. And the Metroland had this small advertisement in the back. I mean, a square. And it said, and it was in the back. It said, looking for performers comedians to perform with Colin Quinn from Saturday Night Live at the Shat Theater in Troy, in Russell Sage. It's a beautiful theater, and it was for Second Chance Sports. It was like a fundraiser. Anyway, so this is all true, by the way. I called the number, and I've never done stand up. I had done just a couple of live events in college. Like senior year, I did theater and acting because I had the semester free, so it was all starting to bubble up, right? So I called the guy, and he goes, "Well, do you have a tape or anything of that videotape?" Remember, they wanted VHS, and that's only 2001. I go, "No, I don't." He goes, "I can't do anything for you." A week to the day, I called him again, and I said, "Hi," I said, "I'm calling about this comedian. I'd like to get on the show. Do you have a tape?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "I can't help you." A week to the day, I called him the third time. And I said, "Hey, my name's Greg." I said, "I'm just trying to see if I can get any information to get on that show." And he's like, "Are you the guy that's been calling me the past 2 weeks?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "I told you I can't do anything for you." Okay. And he goes, "Do you have a tape?" And this is what came out of my mouth. I have no idea why. I go, "No, I only perform on Southwest and Amtrak, and they don't allow me to film." I said this out loud to a guy I'm trying to get on the show with. It's dead silent. It's dead silent. I mean, silent. And I'm like, I'm saying, I thought he hung up. And I hear a voice go, "I'm going to call Colin, and I'll call you back." Okay. I'm like, there's no way this guy's calling me back. 2 days later, the guy calls me back. And this is exactly what he said. "Greg, yeah. Okay, I talked to Colin. I can cuss on this show, right? I don't mean to, it's just a verbatim quote."
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes, "Greg," I go, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, Colin said he'll give you 10 minutes, but you better be fucking funny." Click. Okay. So what I did was I rallied up my family and friends. We just started writing about funny stories and tales and how we could read them and get that mind going for 7 weeks. The show came in August of 2001 with Nick DiPaolo. Colin, I don't know if you know Nick DiPaolo as well. And there was 400 people there. And Pix 106 was hosting it. And they go, "You're on first with 10 minutes. And I remember I sold 35 tickets to family and friends. So I sort of felt safe a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't see the crowd that much. And I remember just pacing like a lion in a cage. And I remember one joke that used to work for me was a joke about the show Cops. And I remember getting off, and I sat right behind the curtain and watched the rest of the show just by myself. And afterwards, the guy from Pix 106 said, "How long have you been doing this?" And I was like, "Oh, man, he's going to hate me." I said, "That was my first time." He's like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "You should stick with it. You got something there." And then it just went from there. And seriously, that is such a crazy story. True. There, as a producer and promoter, I would never, ever put someone on stage without seeing their shit, ever. Jesse Joyce, one of our good friends, he writes for Kimmel. He's the one, my friend who introduced me into the New York City scene in 2003. And he's even bought cars from Steven. He has them shipped out to LA. He writes for the Oscars and everything. Great guy. When I told him that story when we first met, he goes, "Dude, it's the crazy story because who does that? Would you hire anyone without seeing proof of their work? No." And now here's the funny thing. 6 years later, I was asked to open for Colin at Proctor's, and I took it, and I talked. Colin remembered the whole show. He remembered specifically every details about it. The booker who I was talking with wound up being his cousin. And his cousin shows up backstage at Proctor's. And I was 6 years into my career. And I said, "You might not remember me, but this was the show." He goes, "Oh, I remember." I go, "I just want to thank you or maybe I shouldn't thank him because he got me into this mess." But I was like, dude, without that, I wouldn't have had anything to go on. So anyway, another Steven's like, "Finish up already."
Right.
That was my first show. Shit. Sorry, I did it again.
Dude, perseverance gets you everywhere.
Yeah, Steve, if I had asked you in high school, do you think Greg will become involved in comedy? Would you have been like, "Oh yeah, I could see that," or would you have been like, "Oh, I don't see that happening"?
I don't know. Maybe comedy, maybe indirectly, but because again, prom king, outgrowing, talking person type like that. So more like that type of person involved with being in front of a camera, things of that nature. So yeah, I would say yeah. absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if I can expound on it, I never set out to be the funniest person. I am far from it. But like Steven said, I love putting the show together. I love showcasing my friends' talent from New York. I love stories from the road. I am so happy when I have a show and I'm like 15 minutes, I do up front and then host and bring I love it. That like Steven said, that's my forte. And I that's what I do more of now anyway, especially post COVID. I don't do much stand up, just with my showcase and you know, private shows and stuff. I love it.
And
So,
you know, on that note, I noticed I saw you guys. I think it was Steve. I think I saw Alex Antoli and you, Greg, playing golf, doing a charity. I think it was for the Colony Police. So kudos for you guys for helping those officers out, raise some money. But how do you guys get involved in that?
The golf tournament, boy, years ago, just happened to see scramble, like doing scrambles every once in a while. Support the police. It's really great tournaments at Skylar Meadows over in Loudonville. So I like doing those charity events, playing the scrambles, doing that. They're really great causes, you know. So yeah,
that's how we got a lot of in our lives growing up about, you know, giving back and charity and stuff. And we got friends on the force, and I guess I'd rather be on that side of them than the other side.
Cool. Well, John, unless you have any other direct questions, we can go to our Colony wrap-up questions here with the Aidala brothers.
Yeah. So we'll start off here. So where are we most likely to find you guys? Again, we're back in 92, 93. Pop Warner, swimming, golf, bowling, or dance?
Oh, definitely golf for me. Definitely golf. Yeah, you know, as much as I could. You know, I love playing it. It was fun. Again, met a lot of nice guys, friends playing on the golf team in high school. I played 10th, 11th, and 12th. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, more than likely I was golfing. I wasn't nothing else.
Nice.
Really wasn't into much football or anything. I played baseball a little bit, but and some basketball, but not for high school anyway. High school was only golf. Yeah, so I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, that's where you'd find me more than likely. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yep.
I wish I started golf earlier. He's got me back into it in the past 2 years, lessons and everything. But I find I really enjoy it. Back then, most likely swimming. Not for the school. I mean, is that what you're asking? Like team sports like that or no?
No, I mean just extracurricular. I was going to ask you guys too. Did you guys go to swimming lessons back in the day, the Conley Town pool?
No, I think my family cut them off with our one sister, 3 years older than me. I think it was Cheryl, because they used to bus them, right? Used to get bussed out there and stuff.
Yep.
But we never had to do the lessons. We practiced in the bathtub. It was great. It was like, hey, we're 1 of 8. We're 2 of 8 rather. You think we got a pool?
Yeah.
We didn't even have air conditioning in this house, John. It's like that hot in the summer.
In this house, yeah.
The old slip and slide has to get broken out then.
Right. What was your favorite? I'll give you some choices, but you can give your own if none of these are really appealing to you. Favorite movie from your high school years? We got Silence of the Lambs, Goodfellas, New Jack City, Terminator 2, or City Slickers, or something else.
Are you muted or no? Sorry. Well, one for sure, Goodfellas, and Back to the Future. But Goodfellas, one of the classes that we had was like Steve Lito, Mastriani, Mike Pirello. So we all had nicknames for them that we made up. I was Stevie Eyes. I don't know if you remember Nicky Eyes.
Yeah.
You know, so we all had nicknames. So Goodfellas, I still watch it every time if it's on. I just absolutely have to watch it. It's just an incredible movie. There was a lot of great movies in the 80s for sure, but Goodfellas is definitely up there. And Back to the Future, I love Back to the Future 1. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd say that too. Like Back to the Future, like our all-time sci-fi. In fact, I got to take Steven. We got to meet Christopher Lloyd, and that was fun. Yeah, that was to meet the Doc. That was pretty sick. Yeah, I'd say like Back to the Future. You know, Goodfellas. You want to go back early 80s, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. you know, and all those. And those were like really well written comedies, and like what is happening here. But yeah, those are good times.
So what about Fletch?
100%. Fletch is the best. I mean, yeah, I can't believe we forgot about Fletch. The best improv movie ever. The best.
I was going to say that and Spies Like Us. You can't go wrong with either one.
Oh yeah. Well, Rex brought up like City Slickers, and I was like, actually, City Slickers is not that bad of a movie. When you put him next to like Fletch and Spies Like Us, it's different genre sort. But yeah, holy shit, Fletch is so great. How did we forget that?
I don't know.
Let me ask you guys this. Growing up, did you guys have a gaming console in your house? If so, what was your go-to gaming? Was it Atari, Nintendo, the old ColecoVision, the Intellivision, the Jaguar, or my favorite, Sega Genesis?
We had ColecoVision and Nintendo. What was Jaguar? What's that? I never heard of that.
That was Atari. That's like the Atari one. I think it was like early 2000 Jaguar. I think that's where you got to play Doom on it. I think Jaguar had it.
I know Atari, Nintendo, or ColecoVision, Nintendo. That was it for me. Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Do you remember the games? What do you like most?
Oh, on Nintendo?
Either.
Oh, there's Blades of Steel. You on? Mike Tyson's Punch Out. There was a ton of games on Nintendo. Yeah.
You guys big into Zelda?
Oh yeah, mastered that. Remember? And ColecoVision, we had Zaxxon. Remember Zaxxon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you held the joystick upside down, it worked better.
Yep.
It was like weird. It was like the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I thought I was the only ColecoVision guy on the planet, and I'm glad to know that the Aidala brothers were in the Coleco clique too, because that's all I had was Coleco, and it was Zaxxon and Qbert. So that's how extensive my video game career was.
I still don't get Qbert, but Qbert was awesome.
Yeah. But favorite place to watch or perform a comedy show in the Capital District?
Ooh.
If you had to pick one venue to either watch a comedy show or perform one.
That's tough because I usually only go where he's performing, so it's really tough to answer that. But I like you're on. Just hang on a minute. Palace is a great place, or Proctor's. Both of those places are great venues to see a comedy show because I think it's not an overly big venue. I've seen shows at whatever it is now, MVP Arena. Yeah. And it doesn't do too much for me, so Proctor's and Palace for me, too big, I think, are two really great venues for that. Really great venues.
Greg?
Yeah, I echo that. Palace and Proctor's, for sure. Absolutely.
Let me ask you guys a last question just to, what was the first show you saw at the Knickerbocker Arena? First show. Or first time you were there?
First event.
The first event was, I think it was the Grateful Dead. I think in '92 for me. I don't think I went there before that. I think it was the first show right at the end of our junior year, '92. Then they came back in '93. So yeah, I don't know if I was supposed to be there, but I ended up going. But it's a great show. I mean, it was like what? So good times. Yeah, that's what all I remember. I don't think we went to anything ahead of that, did we? I don't think so. I know Sinatra opened it.
Yeah.
In 1990.
I was going to give you that trivia.
Yeah.
Frank opened.
I remember that. But I think that was the first time I was there. Was
Grateful Dead
show. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Dead for me too. We didn't go to any sporting events there earlier, right? Because sometimes they'd have I don't think that's our father coincidentally was at that Sinatra show when they opened it. By the way, we saw Pavarotti there, so that's one of those marquee shows too. When you saw Pavarotti, that was pretty spectacular.
Oh wow!
Well, my father and Stephen fell asleep, but I loved it. Did I go? Yeah, there's Sandra and Johnny who were there. So, yeah, I think it was the Dead. I think the Dead was my first show there too. Yeah, they also loved Albany.
Weren't you guys Siena basketball fans? So you probably went to some games down there, right?
Yeah, we went to a lot of games down there. A lot of them, my dad always goes back to it when they played on campus.
At
It
the
was just a
Arc.
different. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was great.
yeah,
It was just it
that was
was
awesome.
tough to beat them there. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It was just the best. Down here, it's tough because it's just not a D1 community. It's not, it's
Right.
not an SEC type of community. So you get very small crowds, which you almost say, my dad's like, why don't they just do them back on the campus? The kids can walk to the game.
Yep.
I don't know. But yeah, went to a lot of them there, and then it's kind of almost like too cold out. Why go to the game? You got to find a parking spot. It's snowing. So it's like we end up not going as much. Once in a while, maybe I'll grab a game, but it's far and few between now for sure. Yeah.
What was to echo Stephen? What was so fun is our dad's a Siena grad, and he had once the Arc opened, he had 4 seats, second row, right behind the visitor bench. So we were right there on the action all those years growing up. When we were kids, we had to take a nap after school to go.
Yeah.
And it was that Arc, if anyone had been there in those days, was so raucous and fun. And literally, that's another thing, like with entertainment and us being around like cool things. Like we were literally part of the bench. It was awesome. And then it did sort of get separated when moved to Albany.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Those Siena games, I used to go to them in high school with Mark Brown playing in that, and it was I'm not gonna say it was like Duke level Cameron Indoor, but for the low D1 level, that was like the equivalent of Cameron Indoor with the band going and crowds, and it was a great atmosphere there, and I agree. I think they're kind of missing out on that these days.
Yeah, it's like Boston College got a nice place, but when we were there at Siena, Brian Scalzo was the ball boy, and he's a principal over at Colonie, so it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, to wrap up, just one last thing I wanted to touch on that we didn't touch on earlier is Greg, congrats on being inducted into the Colonie High School Hall of Fame. Great job with that. Maybe just talk a little bit about what that whole experience was like, and kind of coming full circle. And Steve, maybe you can comment a little bit too, because I think you were there with I think I saw a picture of you, and maybe I don't know if it's all your siblings, but quite a few of them, and kind of what was all that about?
I was really excited and thankful and taken aback a little bit. I knew I was being nominated. I think it was like March. And then I like kind of forgot about it because I was like, wow, there's a lot of people out there. And, I was happy to be thought of. And then I got the call and they said, congrats. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And it was fun. It was a fun day. Like they treated us so nicely. They had a pre-party and they had all my family, well, some of my family, but my family that was with me, to the ceremony, and they escorted them right to their seats. There was no lines. We had our own parking spaces, and I got to process in with the students and give a speech. It was really a unique moment. And this is how I sum it up. I'm thankful for everything, like in my professional career that I got to do. I'm very thankful for it. That was a real honor, though, with the Hall of Fame. That's one of them that was like, yeah, I kind of got giddy over. I was like, wow, holy shit. Because we got an uncle, our father's brother, that was also inducted in 2017. So we're very thankful and pleased, and proud of that, and to have my my family support. It's so not me getting in there. That's all family and friends support over the years. So it was a fun experience. It was definitely cool. I hope it happens to more people I know, because it's and keep working hard, because it does pay off. But it was fun.
Awesome. Steve, what was it like for you to kind of be part of that?
Oh, it was great. It was nice. It took me for a surprise. I kind of wish it was me, Pat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should have been.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all surprised when Greg got in. I mean, let's face it. So.
Right. I know. I was like, what the heck? It was nice. It was nice that some of my sisters could come. My father was there. You had your godparents there. So it was nice. It was cool. It was actually really nice. It is nice doing the graduation down there, because we had it down at the Plaza, if you remember, and definitely nice there. They really do it well. Great job. But I was super proud of them. It was really cool, to see that, and all the other people that got inducted as well. Really cool.
No, in all seriousness, congratulations. I was really happy when I read about that, and I was like, oh, they made the right choice on that one for multiple levels. I was happy for you individually, but I was happy for your whole family. From what I know about all of you guys, my dad telling me stories over the years, He always had a lot of respect for your whole family and your dad specifically. And I always had heard really good things about the Aidala family and your sister Cheryl and all that. So great job.
Thank you. Hey, I can leave you with this. I was joking with Steven. So I wrestled basketball and football in high school, but I didn't play. I made the teams. I hustled, but I really didn't play. But look, I still have, this is 10th grade warm-up uniform. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice. I remember those.
Dude.
With your name on it. That's huge.
Yeah, with the name on it. This is 10th grade JV.
Yeah.
And Kilmer was the coach, Doug Kilmer. Yeah. And I've seen him recently too. We caught up like last fall. I saw him, so it was nice to catch up. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that.
Nice.
That's a keeper. That could be worth some money. You know, I don't know where, but somewhere it's worth money. I don't know.
I got nothing, Pat, from high school. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
All right, John, you want to take us out here?
Sure. I was just going to say one last question. So the Colonie Pit's, in the market for a new car, our budget's only $500. What can we get for $500? Come on. We need a discount. We need a Colonie Central discount. We get in anything?
Yeah, probably not. $500. You know what's sad is like the minimum people used to come in even 10, 15 years ago. They say, what can you get for 5,000 or 6,000? It's really the starting point is unless you're really lucky or maybe somebody in the family had passed away and you're getting the vehicle, it's like 10,000 is now the beginning price for a vehicle, which is like, a lot of people, especially now with interest rates. So yeah, you're not gonna get much for 500. You might buy a cheap set of tires, but you have nothing to put them on.
I'll take a 75 Cutlass. I'll take a 75 Cutlass if I can.
That's all right.
No, guys, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it. It's great to see you're both successful and you both are doing great. Stay healthy. And again, we'll have you on because I'm sure we'll have another show where we can find you guys a spot. So thanks again for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Really fun time. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you guys.